Hello, everyone. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi, I love when people say hi back.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you guys?
Hi.
Doing fine.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone to our webinar on the 2026 National Participant Opportunities. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We do have quite a bit to cover, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Today's session is being recorded, and we will share the recording, the presentation, and all of the links and documents with you after today's session. We will be throwing a lot at you, so rest assured you do not have to write it all down during the webinar. As you do have questions, please feel free to drop them into the chat. We have reserved some time at the end of today's session to answer questions in the order they're received, so we'll do our best to get all of your questions answered. If we run out of time, we will just reach out to you directly to make sure your question does get answered. So before we get started, I want to introduce you to the events team and a few additional team members who, in addition to their main jobs in alumni engagement, social media, and philanthropy, also provide really great support to our participant events. So as you can see, there is one familiar face that doesn't appear on this screen, Brandon Luna. So as many of you know, Brandon has led our participant opportunities team for over 10 years. And in recent years, he and our colleague Allison Molong have built our First Tee alumni network. So beginning this year, Brandon is focusing on our alumni engagement efforts full time. But have no fear, Brandon will not be a stranger to participant events. He is now leading our First Tee Ambassadors program, and we will work closely with him to bring our ambassadors and other speakers to our events. Plus, Allison will share more, excuse me, she will share more about how we integrate our alumni into our events throughout the year. For those of you who I have not met yet, my name is Brittany Nguyen. I've been with First Tee coming up on 8 years in our marketing and communications team. And I am super honored and excited for this new opportunity to lead our incredible events team. So for each of our events, we have an event lead and then additional staff as support. So this year, I will be leading the Game Changers Academy and then backing up Nicolette on a few others, like the PGA Tour Superstore events and Pure Insurance Championship. And speaking of Nicolette, I'm going to kick it over to her to introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicolette Scalf, and I am the Senior Manager of Events going on my 6th event season with First Tee Headquarters. I oversee the National Championship, PGA Tour Superstore events, including the Leadership Series and Summit, and the Pure Insurance Championship. And now I will pass it over to Philip.
Hello, everyone. My name is Philip Weems. I am the coordinator of events. This will be my second year a part of the events team at First Tee Headquarters. This year, I will be supporting the First Tee National Championship, the Game Changers Academy, Pure Insurance Championship, and lead the Innovators Forum this fall. And with that, I'll hand it over to Allison.
Thanks, Philip. Hi, everybody. It's so good to see so many familiar faces on today's call. But for those who I have not met yet, my name is Allison. And as Brittany said, I work alongside Brandon as the manager of alumni engagement. This is my 3rd year in this role, and I'm so proud of all that we have accomplished thus far. Last year's event season, I had the incredible opportunity to help lead Drive Your Future Academy, where I met so many amazing young ladies. And so I'm super excited to lead Drive Your Future again this year, along with several other alumni activations. Go ahead, Taylor.
Hi, everyone. My name is Taylor Williams. I am the Senior Coordinator of Social Media here at First Tee Headquarters. I've been with First Tee for 2 years, and I'm going into my 3rd event season. And I support all of our events through social media and storytelling. Now I'll pass it over to Juan to introduce himself.
Thank you, Taylor. Juan Escobar, Senior Director of Philanthropy. Been with the organization for about 14 years. Had the opportunity to host many different roles within HQ. Most recently, of about 9 years ago, on the advancement side, really focused on securing resources for both local and national impact and helping out with supplemental opportunities like the one that I will touch on here in a little bit.
Awesome. Thank you all. So now it's time to dive into our 2026 events. So up on the screen, you can see our agenda. In just a moment, Nicolette is going to dive into that 2026 schedule and provide a few key updates. Philip will get into the event application, judging, and selection process. Taylor is going to dive into storytelling and some parent resources. And then once your participants are selected for an event, we'll share some key reminders about each of those events for your participants. We'll talk a little bit about how your chapter and your alumni can get engaged in events this year. And then, like I mentioned, we'll wrap things up with an open Q&A. So again, feel free, drop some questions in the chat. We will have time to answer them at the end. So for now, I will turn it back over to Nicolette to talk about the schedule.
Thank you, Brittany. On the 2026 schedule, we have 5 national opportunities available to all chapters. We are excited to bring the First Tee National Championship to a new host site this June. The Findlay Golf Club at the University of North Carolina is excited to have your participants, and we're looking forward to continuing to elevate this championship. The Game Changers Academy will return to Minnesota in July, aligned with the 3M Open for special opportunities to engage on-site at the tournament. I'd also like to call out that for those chapters in a PGA Tour Superstore market, the Leadership Series will be kicking off in early March, with the Leadership Summit returning to West Creek Ranch in Immigrant, Montana in early August. The Pure Insurance Championship will return to the iconic Pebble Beach Golf Links in September, and the Driver Future Academy will shift back to early October and return to Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida for 36 girls. And last, but certainly not least, the Innovators Forum will be hosted in conjunction with the Network Summit in Amelia Island, Florida in mid-November. Now, before we move on, I'd like to pause here to bring special attention to an update regarding the Pure Insurance Championship. Pure Insurance has renewed their commitment to both the tournament and First Tee through 2029, with a specific focus on increasing access for participants from underserved communities. To support this goal, Pure Insurance is providing enhanced resources, including needs-based stipends, to help remove financial barriers for these families. We strongly encourage, when selecting applicants for the Pure Insurance Championship, that you actively identify and recommend participants from lower socioeconomic backgrounds who would benefit from this incredible opportunity. In addition to what we can be doing now, with Pure's renewed commitment for the next 5 years, we encourage chapters to look at future eligible participants and start to invest more time and resources in kids of all ages from lower socioeconomic backgrounds. Now, application open, close, and field announcement dates shown on the screen can be found on the schedule on the intranet. In addition to the schedule, more information on participant events can be found on the chapter intranet by navigating to the Programs dropdown and selecting Participant Opportunities. This information includes application codes, which Philip will talk about more later, that can be found on the individual event pages, in addition to the links to frequently asked questions and resources for navigating participant ops. Now I'll pass it over to Juan to talk about one of our supplemental opportunities available to all of your participants.
Thank you, Nicolette. So we wanted to take a moment and really just showcase this Indigo and Gopher Matches supplemental opportunity. Now, when we say supplemental, the difference is First Tee HQ staff are not the ones on site running the event. So for this one, the Hoopy Match Club staff are the ones that run the event. So we're going into the 3rd year of this opportunity. It takes place at a Hoopy Match Club in Georgia, really centered around bringing together First Tee and the Underrated Tour. So as many of you probably know, Underrated is Steph Curry's junior golf tour. So Mike Walrath, the owner and founder of a Hoopy Match Club, thought it would be a great opportunity to bring together these 2 organizations. And we've come together for the last 2 years in a great event. So what it is, it's 12 boys and 12 girls, 6 from each, or 12 boys and 12 girls, 6 boys and 6 girls from each organization, centered around kids that are really from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, really aimed at giving them the experience of a lifetime. This is played in a Ryder Cup style event. So teens are paired with another young person from the other organization, and they experience really 3 days and 2 nights at what is one of the prestigious locations in Southeast Georgia. Now, all expenses are paid and taken care of by First Tee. So as you guys come through this event in the intranet, please feel free to reach out with any questions. Nominations will open in early April. That's a little bit of a difference between this and a traditional opportunity. Kids are nominated versus they apply for in a traditional opportunity. So please reach out with any questions, and we'll have more information in the coming weeks.
Thank you, Juan. I'm excited to share a few updates to our application process, starting with our eligibility requirements. We are happy to share that there are no major updates in 2026. One thing we encourage to keep in mind when nominating participants is to be sure to double check their age and school year requirement, as well as reviewing the maximum number of participants chapters can nominate per event. The full list of eligibility requirements can be found on the intranet. We are very excited to introduce a refreshed chapter participation survey for 2026. This year, we have introduced a new metric-based question around junior coaching, along with new evaluation structure to questions 4 and 5, which will be scored individually. These two questions give chapters a unique opportunity to help further promote the participants' candidacy. The link to this year's survey has been dropped in the chat. We will still evaluate the entirety of the survey, but only those two elements will be scored. As a reminder, only the 2026 survey can be used. Surveys from previous years will not be accepted and are subject to 0 points. Surveys must be completed by the chapter and then sent to the participant to upload into their application. And those surveys can be found on the intranet. And finally, our socioeconomic form. To help us further understand the participants we serve and ensure everyone has access to our events, we have expanded options for household income on this year's form. Participants should consult with their parent or guardian before completing this section on SurveyMonkey Apply, which will lead us to our next topic. We are happy to share that we are continuing to use SurveyMonkey in 2026. As a reminder, participants who are applying to multiple events will only need to complete several of the reusable tasks. For example, items such as the chapter survey, letter of recommendation, and bio form. Data from a reusable task can be reused in any event they apply to in the same year. Participants can also update information without having to complete the entire form again in the event of changing circumstances, such as an address change. When chapters are nominating first-time participants, please be sure that the account is created in the participant's name. This will help our team at HQ ensure that each participant's contact information is accurate. When we distribute information regarding announcements for our opportunities, we want to make sure that the email communication is going directly to the participant and not a parent email, which can be provided in the general information form later in the application. Make sure to only distribute application codes to participants you have selected to apply. As Nicolette previously mentioned, application codes can be found on the intranet under the Participant Opportunities page. One frequently asked question we receive is an ineligibility error message. This typically happens because the application codes are either missing or are entered incorrectly on the participant's SurveyMonkey profile. Most of the time, this is due to spacing and comma misplacement when entering the application codes. There are additional resources on the intranet that can help alleviate those obstacles, which will be covered next. Additional resources for participant opportunities can be found on the chapter intranet. These resources will include video tutorials, assisting with tasks related to SurveyMonkey, additional tools including quick start guides, sample applications, interview forms, and information providing a deeper look into our judging and selection process, along with our golf scoring, which provide additional information with our golf-focused events, including resume samples and handicap information. Lastly, one friendly reminder about the use of AI during the application process. To maintain fairness and uphold the integrity of the application process, the use of artificial intelligence and AI tools, such as text generators or automated writing assistants, is strictly prohibited when completing event applications. Submissions found to include AI-generated content may be disqualified. And with that, I would like to hand it back to Brittany.
Thank you, Philip. We do love AI at First Tee, but not for our participants. So I echo that sentiment. Please make sure that you are encouraging your participants not to use AI in these applications. So as you can see here, this year we put together a brand new document that is a comprehensive scoring rubric. And this is geared to help both you as chapters and your participants better understand how their applications are scored and what the selection committee is looking for in a high quality application. So if you are interested in joining the selection committee, please stay tuned. Philip will share more details in a bit about how you can get involved. But as you can see, we'll drop in the chat if it's not there already. You are able to download the full document available on the chapter intranet, so please log in. But a few of the key components that we go through in this scoring rubric are the eligibility requirements for each event, the actual makeup of the selection committee itself, so they know who is scoring their applications, a full scoring outline, and it's broken down by percentage and by events. You can get a little snippet of that here on the screen, and then some participant selection considerations as well. I do strongly encourage you to review the full rubric, and please, like I said, feel free to share this with your participants. And switching gears a little bit, here to talk about some different ways that you can promote events to parents and teens, as well as our storytelling strategies, is Taylor Williams.
Hi again. I'm going to be reviewing some promotional resources and some parent information that we've designed to help make it easier for you all to share and support our national opportunities at your chapter level. We have updated the chapter toolkit this year to help you effectively promote the national opportunities in your communities. In this toolkit, you'll find overviews and dates for each of our events, as well as promotional materials. That includes printable collateral, which can also be used digitally, event photos and videos, our National Opportunities sizzle video, as well as individual event videos that highlight each specific opportunity. There are also other resources available in the toolkit, like eligibility requirements, including clarification on reusable versus unique tasks, best practices, and frequently asked questions to help you answer some common questions quickly and confidently. We are also really excited this year to share something new, our Parents Guide for National Opportunities. This guide was created using frequently asked questions from families, along with information we know that parents want to know when they're considering whether they're going to send their teen on a plane across the country, and gives them a little introduction to our team as well. The Parents Guide is available on firsttee.org and the chapter intranet for you to easily share with your families. We also will be linking directly to it in all acceptance emails to make it as accessible as possible. And reminder that we will be emailing this presentation, so you can also access all of the links throughout when you get that email. Jumping over now, I'm going to talk a little bit about PR and storytelling. We want to do everything we can to help you amplify your participants and your chapter success. So when it comes to events, if you're planning any local media outreach, if you need help, we can provide media lists for your chapter in your area. We just ask that you give us about a week's worth of lead time so that we can pull the resources to best support you. A couple of reminders: when you're reaching out to reporters in your area, personalization in your emails really matters. Take a few extra minutes to tailor those emails to the specific reporters that you're reaching out to, and that can make a big difference in you trying to get coverage on your participants. Regarding competition-based events like our national championship and Pure Insurance, we strongly encourage you to follow up with those reporters regarding the results. Reporters love outcomes, especially any exciting finishes or personal milestones and strong performances. If any reporters reach out looking for photos of any participants, please let us know, and we can do our best to provide those to you as quickly as possible. Just to give you a sense of impact, during the Pure Insurance Championship last year, 67 stories were placed by different chapters, reaching a potential audience of 500 million people. So there's a real opportunity to be able to elevate your participants and your chapter on a national scale. And lastly, I'll go over a couple of quick reminders on social media. We highly, highly, highly encourage you to have your participants share photos with you from the events that they're attending to share on your channels so that we can engage and reshare from the HQ channels. Please, please, please tag us, as that is the best way for us to see any content that you're sharing. As a reminder, we cannot share posts from participant accounts on HQ channels due to Safe Sport. So through you and your channels is the best way for us to be able to engage. There are event graphics linked in the chapter toolkit that you can use, but there are also additional graphics that are accessible in First Tee Canva. That is linked here as well as in the chat. So please feel free to use any of those resources. And lastly, a reminder about photos. Event photos are accessible to chapters through the link in the chapter toolkit. Participants do not receive access to the photos until they have completed the chapter survey at the conclusion of the event. So please don't share the photos with them earlier. But please feel free to use any of the photos in the photo shelter to celebrate your participants before, during, and after our events. Now I'll kick it back over to Nicolette for reminders for selected participants.
Thank you, Taylor. Yes, please don't share links to the photos with participants until we share them out. It's like our little nugget to get them to actually do their survey, and it has worked really well the last few years. So we'll continue to do that in 2026. Now we'd like to go through a few reminders for the selected participants. Once the selection emails go out, selected participants have a few additional forms to complete by logging back into their account on SurveyMonkey Apply. The acceptance forms include a medical form, which is a reusable task should a participant be selected to multiple events, a travel form, which must include flight information and receipts, and finally, an emergency contact form. A special reminder here that participants' emergency contact must be available during event week. Over the past few years, we have continued to enhance our risk management and on-site safety protocols. We had a very successful first year of requiring the Safe Sport for Youth Athletes course for participants who will be 18 years old while on site, and will continue to make this a requirement in 2026. The course completion certificate is uploaded as an additional acceptance form for those participants. We will continue to use a tier-based stipend system for participant events, meaning that final stipend amounts per participant are determined by the actual cost that they spent on airfare. Stipend amounts for each event are listed up to a certain dollar amount, meaning that each participant will receive a stipend within $25 to $50 of the actual amount spent on airfare, not to exceed the maximum amount listed. Any costs not covered by the stipend are at the discretion of the chapter to cover. A few reminders regarding where to find stipend amounts and the process for receiving them. Stipend amounts can be found on event applications and acceptance packets. Stipends take up to 3 to 4 weeks to process following an event. And lastly, stipends are paid directly to chapters via ACH payment from the PGA Tour, so your participant or you will need to coordinate with the families to coordinate reimbursement directly. Regarding stipends for the Pure Insurance Championship, we are maintaining the accommodation stipend of up to $2,200 with an exciting change to the needs-based stipends. The accommodation stipend will cover up to 6 nights in the host hotel or can be used to assist with the cost of alternative lodging like an Airbnb or VRBO. As mentioned earlier, as part of Pure's commitment to access to the Pure Insurance Championship and helping ensure there are no financial barriers in attending the championship, participants will continue to have the option to apply for a needs-based stipend by completing the financial form during the acceptance stage on SurveyMonkey Apply. We are excited to be expanding what this stipend can cover, which will include costs for hotel, flights, rental cars, and non-tournament covered meals. And those costs will be taken into consideration for participants and their one chaperone. To be eligible, the family's income for the 2025 tax year must be $150,000 or less, or the family has an extenuating financial circumstance. Now I'll pass it back to Brittany to go over some updates for Salesforce.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicolette. So we do have a couple new additions to Salesforce as it relates to national participant opportunities. So first is related to something called involvement records. So we announced this last month, but now you can see teens or alumni's participation in past First Tee national events. So right now, data is currently available for our 2025 events, but we are starting to go through our archive to update contact records for 2024 and previous years. So thanks to our Salesforce team, they have created 4 new reports that we'll link here. So you can easily view your participants' event history over the years. Like I said, more data that's in there, it'll get more exciting, but a really great addition to Salesforce for you to know as a chapter. I do highly encourage you to view the knowledge article that's linked here for your Salesforce admin to view it, as it includes a tutorial video and more tips on how to navigate through the different involvement records. And if you have any questions about this, please reach out to support@firsttee.org. And our second Salesforce update involves how we communicate with chapters when participants do receive their selection notifications. We have often gotten the question about, can you please add me to be notified when our participant gets selected? It was a very manual process and very difficult for us to manage before, but recently we're excited to share that we added a new option in Salesforce so that you at the chapter can select which of your staff members should receive the selection announcements for participant events. So automatically, your chapter's executive leader and program leader will receive these announcements. But just as you at your chapter can update which of your staff receives the various network communications like FYI or Impact Today, you can now also make your selections for participant events. So there should be a link in the chat to a list view. That is a new list view. Feel free to bookmark it, but it allows you to see the current list of contacts at your chapter who will receive those notifications moving forward. Your chapter's Salesforce license holder can make any edits to this list view. But please, again, if you have any questions, reach out to us at support@firsttee.org. And then up next, Philip is going to share how you can get more involved in national participant events.
Thank you so much, Brittany. We would love to welcome all chapter staff to be a part of this year's selection committee. This is a great opportunity to see completed applications from other participants around the network, which can be useful when assisting your own participants during the application process. Our selection committees play an instrumental part in making our events as impactful as possible. Sign-up forms are now available on the chapter intranet under the participant opportunities page and can be submitted at any time. We would also love to welcome all First Tee coaches to be a part of the 2026 Game Changers Academy. Applications for coaches are now open. The deadline dates coincide with the participant application and will be closed on March 18th. We look forward to another fantastic event in July. If you have any questions, please reach out to support for more information. And with that, I would like to hand it off to Allison to talk more about our alumni engagement.
Thanks, Philip. As many of you know, we have built a robust alumni network for those 18 years and older, offering regional meetups, career pathways, and partner benefits to keep alumni connected. Another way alumni can stay connected is through our Alumni Chaperone program. Registered alum 19 years and older can apply to chaperone at one of these 4 national participant opportunities. After applications are reviewed, we will select up to 20 individuals to participate. Those selected will receive a tier-based stipend to help cover the cost to and from the event. This is a great chance for them to mentor the next generation while staying engaged with First Tee. I encourage everybody on this call to reach out to your current high school seniors and past participants to have them register for the Alumni Network so they can start taking advantage of these opportunities today. With that, I will hand it back to Brittany to close us out.
Awesome. Thank you, Allison. Thank you, everyone. So as you can see, we've shared all of the contact information for our team. But that said, like I mentioned before, you can always feel free to reach out to support@firsttee.org, and your question will get routed to the right individual on our team to answer. So for now, we can dive into our open Q&A. We do have plenty of time to answer your questions. I don't believe our chat is full, but it's full of links and no questions. So if you do have a question, feel free, drop it in the chat. If you want to come off mute, let us know.
this is being recorded and it will be shared on the internet. Carl Bentley from First Tee Graders.
Hi, Carl. Great to see you or hear you. Can't see you. But yes, it is being recorded. All of the presentation, the recording, and all of the links that we've shared today, we'll be sharing out in an email that will likely go out this afternoon. We have a brave soul, Ross.
Yes, I'll ask a question. So I'm from First Tee Phoenix. How do some of the bigger chapters deal with the application process? So like we obviously have way more kids applying than five. And it seems to be difficult to give them the application. Like we in the past have given them like the PDF form and they fill it out and then we kind of decide who we want to let apply. And it doesn't seem to be like working super well. So I didn't know if any other chapters did it a different way or what they have done.
That's a great question. Carl, I don't know if you're still on, if you want to address how you guys are handling it at your chapter, if there's any others, other large chapters in the call today who want to talk about their process.
Well, we don't seem to have as many that kind of meet certain requirements. We're still, building our chapter, so the younger kids are the ones that we want to continue to, be a priority program so you can start to take advantage of those. So I can't really answer that. Sorry.
No worries. Any others? Any other best practices on how you're handling the application process with your participants?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm Joe Swafford from First Tee Greater Houston. And what we usually do is put out a call for people who are interested, usually 14 plus and above, meeting the requirements. We have them do a video listing some of the key commitments that they use for particular questions that we may have as a survey. And then the chapter leadership reviews those videos and then ranks the members according to where they think they would best fit, which national opportunity is best for them. So that's how we pick the number that will apply for each national opportunity.
And then Jason Reddick, I see you're off mute as well. Did you have another best practice to share from your chapter?
Yeah, happy to share. What we do is we put it out to anybody eligible, and if we eclipse that maximum threshold, then we put together an internal application process. So similar to what Joseph said, but it's more a written document and some short answer type things, and then we score it internally. It's pretty minimal, so we don't want to take too much time, but we select the top 4 or 5 or whatever it is from that process and allow them to apply.
For everybody's information on the call, we do have an interview form available on the chapter intranet. This actually did come from what we used to do with the Pure Insurance Championship with the interview, and we just recommend that if chapters do need that additional layer, to use this interview form, much like Joseph said that they were doing in Houston. It's kind of a similar thing, so that's available as well. But Ross, I do think the PDF form, I think, is a way that a lot of chapters, to my knowledge, have done it. Just having them complete that application and then kind of going from there on who will actually do be the final 3 to 5.
All right, awesome. We've got a couple other questions submitted in the chat, so we'll jump over to those. From Taylor, she is asking, when are chapter staff notified if they are being selected to be part of the selection committee for an event? That is a great question. Nicolette or Philip, do you want to address that one?
I can take this one. So usually we try to let the selection committee know about 2 weeks before the application deadline so that you're aware that once application once applications close, we have a couple of days to do some administrative items, and then we'll email you over the directions for whichever event you're selected for, and then the information on SurveyMonkey. So usually about 2 weeks prior to applications closing. So for those closing on March 18th, first week of March, we should have that information out. And usually we send that email just saying, hey, these are the events that are closing, just confirming that you're still interested in being part of the selection committee.
If you haven't gone through the selection committee process, I would highly encourage you to do it. You get to hear and read some like incredibly impactful stories of participants, and that alone is amazing. But B, I think it'll just give you more insight too into the process and really understanding it. And it can help you with your participants understand how they should go through the application process. You can see applications, what makes a really good one, what stands out. So again, just really highly encourage you or you're someone from your team to take part in the selection committee process. All right, we have another question from Brian. Does the chapter for Leadership Summit in Montana this August, does the chapter get 3 or 5 nominations? That is a great question. Last year it was 5 nominations. With the removal of the Leadership Academy in Atlanta, we did lower the number of nominations per chapter to 3 this year. It really is just going to help our team understand and put a little bit of onus on you guys to work with your local superstore and determine which of those participants really did stand out from the leadership series. So yeah, we did lower that one to 3 for this year.
If we have 2 stores, is it 6 then? Or is it still
Yes.
okay?
Yep, 3 per store. Great follow-up question. Any other questions?
We were just so thorough. Just kidding.
All right. Well, we'll hang out here for another couple of minutes, but if anyone does have a question, if you have a question and you want to ask it offline, again, our contact information is here. Feel free to reach out. We're happy to connect with you directly. But again, it's really going to be a great year. We are I am personally so excited about our event season this year, getting to witness a lot of them for the first time. So we cannot wait to meet your participants. If you have any questions, that first big deadline is March 18th for 3 of the events. So again, just reiterate that. Select which kids you believe are best suited for each of the events, and just reach out if you ever have any questions. We will share the recording, the presentation, and all of the links in an email to anyone who is registered for this webinar. But again, just thank you all so much. Thanks for taking the time, and we look forward to seeing you soon.